So we're out and about. I'll be playing the role of the Pope who is visiting Canada on a tour where he is doing a mea culpa of the church's role in the residential school system of Canada, which has caused so much pain in the way they treated families and kids in supposedly a school system which was more or less like a torture chamber. And the residential school system existed up until maybe 10 or 15 years ago, from the 1860s. So he's come to Canada, I believe is in Alberta, and now he's going to be traveling to Quebec. And Barry is going to be playing the role of an indignant, as he has a right to be, Indigenous person. So here we go.
Well, first of all, Pope, Mr. Pope, the
That's pontiff to you, my son.
Pontiff.
Pontiff. Address me correctly, please.
Pontiff Pope.
What?
Pontiff Pope.
Gesundheit.
The residential school system finished in the 70s, and my question to you was, you just
No,
made an
not
apology.
the 70s.
Okay,
It
whatever.
went up into the 90s.
Okay, went up to the 90s. Okay, I'm misinformed.
Possible.
So the thing is that Mr.
May I ask you what tribe are you from?
Start again. This is
No. May I ask you what?
I'm from the I'm chief of the Wacky Mac tribe.
Where is it? Where are you located?
We're located very, very far north in British Columbia.
I see. Well, nice to meet you, my son.
Okay. I'm not your son, but that's okay.
Everybody's my son. I'm the Pope.
My question to you is, you apologized the other day, but you didn't blame the Catholic Church or the papacy office. So why are you not accepting blame for the Catholic Church?
My son, I am a very despondent since you first visited us at the Vatican a few months ago, and you requested that I visit Canada. I have been contemplating the terrible role that the Catholic Church played in the residential school system in Canada. For that, I am greatly, greatly apologetic. I beg your forgiveness. It is truly a blot on those that were representing the Catholic Church, and I give you my mea culpa. I hope you accept it.
The thing is, why are the people who perpetrated these crimes against humanity, why aren't they being punished, and why aren't there any remunerations for the victims of the residential schools? There should be a punishment and a representation of money, and also a repudiation and tearing up the document of discovery, which has caused all these problems for the Indigenous people.
My son, everything in its time. You know that we cannot punish those that have passed away. I mean, some of them in the 1860s are dead by now. I hope you realize that. So it's difficult to punish those people who are dead and buried for many, many years. We just basically spit on the memory of them.
Well, the thing is, there might be some alive today, but there should be a major remuneration, monies going to the Indigenous people who suffered, and also renouncing the Charter of Discovery, which caused many problems for the land rights of the Indigenous people, and also the attitudes from the government towards the people. That should be, the Prime Minister should also give an apology and reparations for the Indigenous people. And I'm stuck on this point because I'm very upset that they didn't get any money or any land claims that they deserved.
My son, I appreciate your concern, and my heart is deeply troubled by the role that our church played in the subjugation of the Indigenous people of Canada It is a blot on our school. But I'll tell you, everything takes time. I already have a guilt complex. Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
You're a Jewish Indian.
Yeah.
So there's only so much guilt I can have at one moment in time. I mean, of course I feel guilty. We all feel guilty, but I mean, it's enough already. I mean, we will do things step by step, and we will try to make reparations in a certain way. Your government has to do things too. It has to build pipelines up north to deliver fresh water, or dig mines or wells to supply fresh water. The Catholic Church does not do things like that. We do other things. We have these beautiful masses that you're invited to, by the way. You're invited to. Are you Catholic?
I'm Jewish.
You're a Jewish Indian.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I'm not going to say something bad about that. But it's you may see the light one of these days. But the point is this: in terms of monetary, we have untold wealth. The Vatican is rich. The Vatican has a lot of stuff. Okay, it's got a lot. Even in the basement of the Vatican, there is a lot of riches. But we're humble. We're humble. We're Roman Catholic. We're the clergy, and we can't just write you a blank check. You know what I mean? We have to go slow, my son. Slow.
I'm aware that the Canadian government has to have clean water for the Indians and good housing. The government should spend an enormous amount of money on that. Also, a written and spoken apology to the people in general, and the Pope should make an official apology saying that the Church is at fault, the Vatican is at fault.
Well, we are at fault, my son.
But you have to admit it.
I admit it to you.
But you didn't admit it forcefully yesterday.
Well, I will. I'm an old man. I'm in a wheelchair. What do you want from my life, for God's sake?
To get out of the wheelchair.
I'm not a young man. I would be sprinting. The point is this. Everything in its own time. There's whispers in the Vatican to save some money. I'm not a young, spry person anymore. It's like I'm in a wheelchair, and God willing, I'll be around. But maybe I'm not going to be around. So any promises I say to you now may be abrogated, be finished by the new Pope who comes in. So we're fighting against time, but these things take time. After all, it's taken 150 years for us to admit that we're guilty.
Well, I know your time is soon up, Mr. Pope.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for wishing me that. You're a nice person.
You'll have many years.
Speak nice. I'm the Pope. I'm the Pontiff.
You're the Pope. Maybe you'll have many years. Who knows? But
please wish me a number of years.
The next Pope.
Hold it. You're supposed to say to 120. Are you Jewish?
No, you're not a Jewish Pope.
No, but you should say that. I'm to 120.
Okay, I'll say to 120, Mr. Pontiff.
If I live that long.
If you live that long.
Yes.
So the thing is that the next Pope better apologize.
You're wishing
also.
for the next Pope? You're wishing for my death?
You just mentioned it.
But don't wish it upon me.
I'm not wishing it
I'm
upon
getting
him.
angry now.
I'm
Don't make the Pope angry. I'm trying to be a humble person.
I'll give you a general statement.
I'm trying to be a humble person, and I'm trying to do my best. God willing. What?
You should eat humble pie.
I am eating humble pie. I'd like your, what is that? The sugar tart in Quebec? The sugar pie, the tart pie.
Yeah. We're going to Quebec tomorrow.
The molasses.
Maybe you could have you go to
the maple syrup.
Sugar farm.
The maple syrup. My son, take care of that cough. Take care of that cough. Don't get too excited. We are trying to do our best. Believe me, our heart's in the right place. We are very sorry for what has happened. And for that paper of discovery, we may just... They gave the papal bull at that time. It was full of bull, that particular pope, and it requires for us to tear up that edict, giving a sort of an approval for the terrible, terrible, terrible things that those who represented the church did. We may just tear that up and that will be one of our next steps. So have patience, my son. Have patience.
That would make me feel very good, and all the indigenous people would feel better, and the government would have to act sooner than later, and there would be reconciliation.
Okay.
And
Please invite me to your synagogue. What's the synagogue's name that you attend, Mr.
Mr. House of Wacky Mac.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that synagogue, and I would be very pleased to participate. Do you have a wafer that we could bite into?
Yeah, we could give you an Israeli wafer.
Give me a wafer. Anyways, my son, let me just say to you, my son, I hope in peace that we travel the path together of reconciliation and peace, and that we somehow try through truth and reconciliation to have forgiveness for one another. And my son, I wish you the best, and I wish for us to have the heart of forgiveness and realize that we are on a better path.
Amen.
Amen.